Shot clock violation.
Welcome back to Shot Clock Violation, the only NBA podcast hosted by casual NBA superfans Zach Huber and Scott Schultz. I'm Zach Huber, and this is Scott Schultz.
Hey guys, Scott here. I'm so addicted to basketball that I have a power rankings for the top 30 Stacey King quotes during Bulls games.
And I've heard all of them. Thank you, Scott. And also here with us is our referee, Jack Cronin. Now, don't forget that similar to an actual NBA ref, Jack knows absolutely nothing about the NBA, but he still has absolute authority over this show. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you, Zach. Gentlemen, today I want some good, clean shit talking. No niceties, no pleasantries. Let's keep it mean, all right?
Hey, Scott.
So we're going to get right into it.
I'm going to beat you for the first time ever. Okay? This week, it's coming. I'm going to fucking destroy you. And I have the best thing that you have to say at the end of this episode. I'm going to make you say something truly just awesome, awful.
Yeah?
Everything. It's magnificent what you have to say when I beat you today.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think you got a real good chance, Zach. I do. I think you got a really, really good, solid chance. I think you've been doing research, and I think I need to take you seriously, and that's what I'm going to do, okay?
Oh, yeah?
Hey, gentlemen, I believe I said no pleasantries, and that includes fair sportsmanship. So, Scott, I'm already giving you a violation.
Yes.
I put Zach in the lead.
Yes, I need this.
And because
That's
of
okay.
that, Zach's going to start on our first question.
Yes, okay.
So without further ado, Zach, 24 seconds on the shot clock. It was reported that John Wall and Russell Westbrook were traded for one another. What do you expect from both of them this season? Timer starts now.
Well, I think Russell Westbrook's going to be an absolute sensation. He always is. He's really fun to watch. He's really exciting, electrifying. I think he's going to be that way for DC. And you know what? To be honest, they need that. That whole fan base has been asleep for the past 5 years. They could use that. John Wall, I think he's literally the biggest question mark in the league right now. Nobody knows what to expect from him. He's coming back from a very serious injury. And you know what? I have high hopes. I'm rooting for him. Go, John.
2 seconds to spare.
Yes.
Not bad. Scott, send it over to you, buddy. 24 seconds. John Wall, Russell Westbrook. Go ahead.
I'm going to have to agree. I mean, these guys are going to surprise us because let's look at it this way. Why are we thinking like, oh, this is a bad trade or something like that? It's because both guys signed for supermaxes. That's not their fault that they literally were all-stars, all-NBA guys. Russ won an MVP. Like, these are good guys. I mean, think back 2 years ago when Chris Paul was labeled untradeable, and we're like, oh, this guy's actually pretty good after he got traded to the Thunder. Both guys, there's nowhere to go but up from here.
All right. Solid.
Damn, that was a good answer, Scott. And I mean, dude, I really am. Like, I think, just like you said, it's going to be funny to see how Russell Westbrook changes now that he doesn't have to play with James Harden, similar to what happened with Chris Paul. I think we're all going to, like, remember, like, oh, yeah, Russell Westbrook was, like, his own player that, like, was really unique and, like, really good in his own right before he went through that Rockets experiment. Like, I think he's going to bounce back completely from this.
He is. I mean, the interesting guy here is going to be John Wall because he hasn't played in a year and a half. He tore his Achilles, I believe. So history says he probably won't come back strong, but really everybody's counting him out. I mean, everybody's counting the Rockets out. They expect them to trade James Harden. They probably will as soon as he's out of quarantine because he's wrapped in saran wrap to keep him safe for the next 12 days. But, like... John Wall literally, like, as soon as he gets on the basketball court, we're all going to go, oh, yeah, he's an NBA player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a 5-time freaking all-star or whatever. 5-time all-star. Like, yeah, he's going to kill it.
Careful, Scott. We'll get to James Harden soon enough. But first, we're going to move to the Lakers. So LeBron and Anthony Davis both took contract extensions. Moving forward, what's it going to take to stop the Lakers from winning 3, 4, 10 more championships? Scott, we're going to send it over to you. Starting now.
I think the answer's schedule, because when you look at it right now, the Lakers are the team to beat, as they should be after a championship. And really, we're just kind of waiting for when the drop-off begins with LeBron and between load management, the second half of the season not being scheduled out. Are they going to have a 3-month break before the playoffs? Are they going into the playoffs right after 72 games? Is it going to be like an anime-style end of an episode where Rudy Gobert's slowly reaching for the microphone and they need to get the playoffs in 2 weeks before he touches it and cancels the season? Who knows?
You went well over, but I held it a little bit. You still kept going. So you took another one, but excellent point. Zach?
Yeah.
Starting over to you, bud.
Okay. It's going to take Kyrie, KD, and hear me out, you guys, Steven Adams to end this reign, okay? Because Kyrie and KD can keep up with LeBron and AD's production, but we need strength to go with that finesse to end the Lakers' rule. You have to have strength and finesse to beat them. You have to be one of the greatest teams. And Steven Adams is one of the strongest dudes I've ever seen. He looks like that dude from The Longest Yard that's like super huge that everybody's scared of. And frankly, I'm a little scared of him too.
All right, Scott, to nullify your violation, tell me why Zach's wrong.
Steven Adams was traded to New Orleans and signed like a 3-year extension a couple weeks ago.
Okay, Scott. If you want to get into technicalities like where people currently play, then we can. But I think we all know that Steven Adams is clearly the strongest player in the league, and he could beat anybody in a fight.
Excellent work, Scott. Your violation nullified.
Damn it.
All right,
I
now
did
we
be
get to
dirty,
move on
I'm
to your
sorry.
favorite topic. We get to move on to James Harden now.
Yes.
So beyond going to strip clubs and attending Lil Baby's birthday party, what does James Harden have to do to get traded? And before all that, why does he want to get traded? What is he doing? What's going on with James Harden? Scott, let's start with you.
James Harden is a man of taste, a man of culture. He went to... Wait, sorry, am I on the clock for explaining the context?
No, you're not. No, please be as long-winded as you'd like.
I just realized, like, wait a second. James Harden went to a strip club, as one does when on the road in Houston, according to NBA insiders. And he's been on like a 4-day bender. Very hard to get a hold of. We've only seen Sasquatch-like footage of him in the strip club from Instagram lives of other people. And yeah, he now has to quarantine for, I think, as of today, for like 2 weeks or something before he can even rejoin the team for team activities, which he doesn't really want to anyway. So I guess he's kind of playing 4D chess when we're all playing checkers. I'm not sure.
Is the
He's
glitter
forcing himself into an early trade?
Is the glitter even going to be off his face in that 2 weeks? Can anybody answer me?
Real question: will he take a shower in the next 2 weeks?
Or even more real question, is the glitter part of the trade to Brooklyn? Can he keep the glitter?
All right, so where is the end of this? What is the limit? What does James Harden have to do to secure getting traded? And Zach, we're going to start with you. Now on the clock.
Well, so his new coach, Stephen Silas, is giving him space. And I think that James Harden needs to take that to heart and give himself space. He needs to find his inner self through meditation so that he can ultimately form the super ego with Kyrie and KD that I alluded to last episode. If he's going to come together and form the most massive ego that the world has ever seen to wreak havoc on the NBA with those two other NBA superstars, he's going to have to find his inner self first, and I think that's what he needs to do.
All right, so in a word or in a sentence, could you summarize that?
Meditate. James Harden should meditate.
Scott, over to you.
Houston's not going to trade him if he's meditating. He's easier to keep quarantined. Listen, what Harden's doing, there's something called a phenomenon. It was called the one red paperclip, where a man traded a red paperclip for a car in 14 trades. Harden is ostensibly doing the opposite of that. He started with the car in CP3, and he's slowly getting down into the one red paperclip until they flip John Wall for a really bad contract with the salary cap drops next year because of COVID affecting revenue. And then they'll probably flip that for the rights to Pistol Pete so they can pay his Pistol Pete's estate the money that he's owed. And he's going to eventually, Houston just won't have a team because they can't just send out one red paperclip and James Harden on the court.
So where does the rabbit hole end, in a word?
Pistol
Pete. Two words are fine too. James Harden for Pistol Pete 2020.
I should have said Pete. In hindsight, I should have said Pete. I went with Pistol.
You just moved
Pistol. James Harden will be traded for an unloaded 45 Magnum.
They just found it at an Atlanta strip club.
I handgun to be named later.
Dude, is that
Guys,
is that
I'm just ignoring the.
Is that real Pistol Pete drama that you're bringing up, Scott? Like, I didn't know anything about that.
I hope not. I hope I didn't speak it into existence. To the Marjanović estate, I apologize if I don't know. Maybe I'm shining a light on a misfortune that nobody is. So maybe I'm doing them justice.
Get Pistol Pete his money.
Pistol Pete Gate.
Hashtag free Pistol Pete.
Hashtag free Pistol Pete. Well, we found the name for this episode.
Yep.
Free Pistol Pete.
All right. Moving on. So, the Clippers slapped in the Western semifinals this last season, right? And to this day, it's been a blame game all around. Paul George says Doc is to blame. Doc implies, with a wink and a smile, that it's PG. Comments have been flying all around. So, who's telling the truth? Who is the most to blame? One single entity or one structural problem with the team? Zach, we're going to start with you, bud.
Well, I think it's easy. This is a player-driven league now. It's so clearly the player leadership that's to blame here. We've all heard that neither Kawhi or Paul George had any interest in leading the team, and Montrezl Harrell all but alluded to it when he talked about how wonderful of a leader that LeBron James is when he switched teams recently. I think it's obvious that, they just let the team down, and Paul George hit the side of the freaking backboard. Dude, come on. We all know that. We all know that he let the squad down, and he just needs to eat it, move on, and do better next year.
Does that let Doc Rivers off the hook?
Personally, I don't think so. I think, I think Doc is going to have a lot to prove with his new team that he's going to this new season as well. I mean, he's a well-respected coach around the league and a really good NBA mind, but it has been a while since he's kind of like, had sort of like championship relevancy. And there's been a lot of promises these past couple of years and, a lot of failed promises. So I think he's got a lot to work on this next season as well.
All right. Scott, fire it up, bud. 24 seconds.
That take was way too measured, way too nuanced. I'm going to give you a hot take in 20 seconds. Listen,
Yes.
It's Doc Rivers, okay? Doc Rivers needs to be blamed because, listen, he subscribed to... Oh, my God. I made myself laugh. This take's terrible.
All right, hang on. Let's reset.
Ooh, catch your breath, Scott. Catch your breath.
Episode.
Yeah. Well, Scott is
right,
winded because I'm running circles around him. Just going to throw a little
He's
trench
running
talk
circles
out there.
around me.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm going to feed that back to Scott. Actually, yeah, do you want a rebuttal first? I can do an untimed rebuttal. Or is it already passed?
Oh, is Scott
Who,
trying
me
to
or
rebuttal
Zach?
me?
Scott, do you want a rebuttal to Zach's before I do your timer?
I dare you to rebuttal me, son.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the rebuttal and the answer are the same because I was going to say Doc.
Okay, yeah. He's
Okay, cool. All right,
shit talk me in his answer.
So then, Scott, over to you. What do you think? Is it Doc? Is it PG? 24 seconds. Go ahead.
All right, get your oven mitts ready because I got a hot take for you. It's Doc Rivers, okay? I'm going to blame him because of the low management, not allowing Kawhi or Paul George to play more than 30 minutes. Then all of a sudden COVID happens. You have like a 3-month break. Then the guys are trying to make a gel and get a cohesive team right before the season, and they can't because it's Doc Rivers. And if you want a real hot take, I'm going to say it's because of the generation handing out participation ribbons.
Down to the participation ribbons. God damn.
This is my audition for ESPN, so if you guys could send that to them.
Zach, you got any kind of rebuttal?
I honestly, I'm just going to say I don't. I mean, I see a typical Scott answer here. He has drummed up an ironic answer from the point of view of a dad with too many opinions about sports. And that's what I love about Scott. He is always able to ironically represent that fan base. And he killed it again here. And man, I really don't have much to say about his actual take because, like, I mean, to be fair, like, I think all around, like the real answer, like jokes aside, is that like literally everybody is to blame. I mean, Doc said it in his own speech when he came back at Paul.
Hey,
You know,
enough. Too slow.
it's
Scott, Daddy-o, you gonna take that?
I'm not going to take that. Listen here, ref. First time caller, long time listener. All right. It's Doc Rivers' fault. Because if I was out there, okay, I would have made them run suicides until they got it together. Okay. They just got to want it more. I just see a bunch of privileged, high paid athletes.
Now that's what we're here to hear, boys.
Hey, can I just
Again,
say
if anybody
that
can send this to ESPN.
that last bit that he brought in perfectly supports my answer. Yeah, there's a lot of privileged, high-paid athletes out there that don't want to be leaders on the court. Their names are Kawhi and Paul George, and they're to blame, Jack, okay? You can't blame Doc Rivers. He wasn't taking the shots. He wasn't hitting the backboard with them.
All right. Fair point.
Okay.
Still
Rebuttal.
took too long.
Rebuttal.
Hang on. You want a violation, bud?
Doc isn't even a doctor. Where is his PhD?
I have no rebuttal to that, Jack. I think you have to give it to him.
You got it, but you also get a violation, Scott.
That's okay. I'm like Bobby Cox. I'm going for 2,000 ejections.
Oh, God. All right, now I regret to move on to the next question of who has the most to prove this year. Is it Doc?
Oof.
Is it Paul George? Kawhi Leonard? Who is it? So, Zach, take a second, take a breather, take a big in, big out, and I'm going to send it over to you. Let's hear what you got.
Okay, well, this isn't going to come as any surprise, but I do think it's Paul George. He's talked a mess of shit. He hasn't proven anything since he stood up to LeBron James in the Heat in 2013 and still lost. It's time to put the whole league on notice and show us what he can really do, okay? He's failed a lot, and he's talked a mess of shit. It's Paul.
Paul George. Scott?
The answer is Doc Rivers because, on a serious note, Philly's in a similar situation to the Clippers last year. Do they trade for Harden? If they do, they need to win immediately. Do they try to run it back? They kind of can't because they've been doing that up. Are they going to blow it up and midway through the season and trade for Harden? Then again, the spotlight's back on them. So I think it's Doc Rivers.
All right.
I mean,
anything to say?
I mean, I also think like that would be my second choice. Would be Doc Rivers. I mean, I think Kawhi like needs to answer for some stuff. Like he's gonna have to like find some leadership ability eventually. I think being as good as he is, but I don't think that's as immediate of a concern as it is for Doc Rivers and Paul George. I mean, Doc Rivers, yeah, he's got something to prove too. He's in a similar place as Paul George. Like he had a lot of accolades like a while ago now. And it's time for him to prove that he's still relevant in the league and that he can like win and build championship teams.
Lo and behold. Very cool. All right, moving on.
Yeah, so
Rebuttal.
whoa!
From late in the shot cock. The rebuttal here is like, Paul George has a lot to prove, but we're not going to see it. Like, the dude's going to be playing 30 minutes a game, taking back-to-backs off. Like, we're not going to see it until the playoffs. So I think Doc is more under the hot seat because the regular season means more. Because are they going to blow it up and trade for Harden if they don't before the season? Like, spotlight's on them.
That rebuttal was ice cold, Scott. I can't believe I call you my friend.
That
Steve.
rebuttal was the equivalent of Stephen Curry dribbling back and forth for 22 seconds, jacking up a three, and turning around, holding up 3 digits in the air before the ball goes into the bucket.
Oh, God, yeah,
Icy, baby.
It hurt, man. It was icy. Jack, I'm just gonna concede. I really have nothing to say to that. He's right.
Hey,
cool.
Give him a violation. What's up with the sportsmanship not
Easy.
getting a violation?
Oh, actually.
Hey.
Yeah, it goes right to it. I want to hear none of it, boys. What's cooler than being cool? Ice cold. And Zach, you were not that. So we're moving on. Icy Scott. Icy Scott, I want to hear you talk to me about the Bucks. The Bucks have been the favorite for the last 2 years in a row and lost in the playoffs both times. Giannis has talked about maybe he doesn't even want to stick around anymore. He might go to another team. So do you think the Bucks have what it takes to enable Giannis to win a championship this year, or are they going to come up short and lose him in free agency? So I'm going to rephrase this to what do the Bucks have to do to win with Giannis, and will they do that? And Scott, we're going to start with you.
The answer is they did it. I mean, really what they needed really badly was a guy who can create a shot, who can help on defense, a second guy to Giannis that takes a little bit of pressure off of Middleton, because maybe that role was a little too much for him. But the Bucks kind of did it with Jrue Holiday. The thing is like, to win a championship, you need a lot of luck between the scheduling, between the injuries, between, is Giannis going to take another step? He's kind of been getting shut down in the playoffs. I don't want to be too hot takey, but really, like, the Bucks have done everything they can, in my opinion. It's just whether or not they win, which is outside of their control. And if they lose, Giannis is probably gone, if history has anything to say about it.
So in a word, is it luck?
Yeah, I mean, the same kind. Yeah, luck. Results.
There it is. My finger was on the button, boy. All right, Zach, give me something a little more palpable. Are the Bucks blameless? Is it just up to chance? 24 seconds on the clock. Go ahead.
Man, personally, I think the Bucks need another superstar. I don't think they're blameless. I think they've made a lot of mistakes. They got rid of Brogdon, who was one of the best shot creators that they had on their team at the time, and kept Eric Bledsoe like a year ago. And look how that turned out for them. They've been fumbling constantly. Haven't made the right reads in terms of players to put around him. They found a lot of shooters, but they haven't found the shot creators like Jrue Holiday that he needs. And I think it's a little too late, man. I don't think Giannis has any interest in being a championship player after the comments that he made about how he wants other superstars to come join the team. I think they do need another superstar to come join the team and to take the reins, because it just seems like, as much as I love Giannis and as much as he made me love basketball again for the first time, like, he really did reignite that love inside of me. I just don't really see it happening inside of him. He's been shut out in the playoffs, like Scott said, a couple years in a row now. And with KD coming up with the Nets, I just see it happening again.
Sorry to report you went over time.
I know, but I felt passionately about that one because, like, I am a Bucks fan, and I had to put my 2 cents in. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm disappointed. I'm just sad for Giannis because he's a great talent that inspires me, but I just don't know what it is, man. I just don't see him making it over the hump this year.
Zach, can I propose a trade to you, or ask if you'd take it?
Let's hear it. Yeah, I want to see Giannis to go to a couple different teams. I'll see, like, who you think? What do you think?
No, to help get that superstar for them. Jrue Holiday for Paul George.
Ooh. Man, I think they would take that trade. And I don't think Paul George is helping it, man. I mean, it would be nice for him to be back in the Eastern Conference, I think, just for him. But I think they need, like, someone like Jimmy Butler, honestly. But Miami would never give him up, and he would never leave. And he just destroyed Giannis in the Eastern Conference playoffs that they played out. So I don't know why he would give up his spot with the Heat. Honestly, I think Giannis needs to go to the Mavs and team up with Luka and Porzingis, because he would be the perfect fit there.
Team Euro down in Dallas, most American city, and we just have a bunch of European superstars.
Yeah, son. We got the dominant ball-handling guard who's the future of the NBA throwing lobs to the biggest sensation. Come on.
I can't wait for when Giannis goes to Dallas and then they trot out Borat at the 5 and we realize he's filming Borat 3. Or maybe he was Kristaps Porzingis the whole time.
Sacha Cohen is actually that huge 7'8" dude, Marjanović or whatever, that played for the Mavs for a sec in the Phillies.
Those costumes,
Sacha
they're
Cohen. Yeah, we
Sacha
just didn't realize it. He has all this footage of him interviewing people as Boban.
Sacha Cohen is Boban.
He actually interviewed Trump because Trump thought he was Michael Jordan.
All right. So we're about at halftime, boys. And I should alert you to the score. There's no score since this isn't a game of basketball, but I'll tell you the violations, and that Zach has 4 and Scott has 2.
There's hustle.
Ooh.
And by measures of heart and hustle, Scott, you should lower your cholesterol.
Well, here's the thing, Jack. If you look at my heart per 36 minutes, you can see that I deserve a starting spot in the all cholesterol team.
But listen to me, Jack, all right? I have always been down at the half, and I'm ready to come out and stuff Scott's arteries with tons of blubbery goo so that I can surpass him in this round. I'm really going to win today, guys. I promise.
That sounded like a compliment. I think that's sportsmanship. Can we get a violation?
Was that a compliment?
You're not going to get it because of blubbery goo. I think that was
blubbery goo.
I think
it's a nicety.
A veiled metaphor that you're missing out on that we're all picking up, Scott.
All right. Well, I'll go run some more suicides until I get it.
That's your solution to everything.
I remember something about what we've talked about.
He may not know anything about the NBA, you guys, but he does listen to us talk about it.
Can we hire, now that Jim Boylan's unemployed, like, do you know how, like, football will do these on the Fox telecast? They'll bring in ex-head of the referees. Can we bring in Jim Boylan to throw anything his way for his input? Like, when something goes beyond our knowledge, we're, like, bringing in ex-Chicago Bulls coach Jim Boylan.
What else would he be up to?
We should just have him reenact the entire podcast before we upload it. He should play each person in the podcast and try to do a funny voice for all of us.
And I want him during COVID to we'll have him video chat in from like some weird Boy Scouts camp in the middle of the wilderness, because he's probably running Boy Scouts now. And like similar to the NBA draft, how they had that one coach, I can't remember his name, call in, and it looked like he was in a parking lot with like 140p and was just like, oh, this guy's great. That's what I want with Jim Boylan.
Iconic.
Jim Boylan is an Eagle Scout. We know that.
Jim Boylan is the reason I'm on the all cholesterol starting five.
So we'd like to take this time to shout out our sponsor. It's the Eagle Scouts of America.
Boys and Girls Club of America.
Hey, that's a real sponsor.
Anybody less?
The presidential fitness exam.
The
and of course, Planet
Fitness Pacer Test is our sponsor this week. I'll take a drink and move into our second half.
There we go. Yeah, everybody, hydrate up. Get hydrated. We're going at it, and I'm coming for you, Scott, in your winning streak.
Yeah, well, I'm not hydrated, and I'm going to have some championship kind of cramps like LeBron in 2013 in San Antonio. That's me cramping up.
Damn it. Those are important cramps.
Which now that I think about it, it's not a good thing. I don't know why I said I would have those.
It's not a good thing, but it does add to your story.
Get out of
here.
here.
Which is like kind of cool.
No, we're still on halftime, so buzzers,
the buzzer's cool. Yeah.
I'm just saying the shot clock violations are kind of a social construct. Like, do away with them.
Did they even exist before we did? They're not laws of nature, guys.
Let the kids eat.
Hear me out, guys. The shot clock has been violated throughout time before it even existed, okay? There were dinosaurs getting shot clock violations. Similar to our reptilian ancestors, we too have to meet the means of the clock.
There's just like a velociraptor just absolutely taking his time getting down the court.
Hey, I mean,
I'm picturing like
raptors. Yeah, come on, dude. Dinosaurs have a place in the NBA.
Do you think like T-Rexes were the equivalent of centers back in the prehistoric era? Like they dominated the court, and then as like pacing and spacing became more and more like respectable, the dinosaurs with their tiny arms couldn't shoot and just like got it phased out of the game for more pterodactyls.
It turns out all the dinosaurs are just an allegory for the development of basketball. They phased out. So what was the Ice Age in the NBA?
Ooh, what was the Ice Age? You go, Scott. I think
I'm gonna say the 1999 NBA season that was cut short due to a lockout, and nobody was expecting to come back, and then the NBA came back and everybody was fat and out of shape, and it just kind of was really forgettable.
Dude, that's what I was gonna say, because everybody put weight on for the winter, like everybody put a weight on for the Ice Age.
Everybody, the few that survived had to hibernate.
The Ice Age is like a
they were the
classic
most
New York
blubberous.
Knicks, San Antonio Spurs 66-62 kind of game.
Holy shit. Was that one of them? Was that for real?
Probably not, but you would have to look it up. It's at least believable.
I know it doesn't mean much, but I believe it.
That means everything, Jack, because you are the absolute authority on this show. Whatever you believe.
I am the absolute authority.
That's a violation. He's not. God is. Jesus Christ is.
We'd
Scott,
to
you better
thank
run
our
some more
second
sprints.
Sponsor of the show, the Church of the Latter-day Saints. This couldn't be possible without all of y'all.
How is there any winner out of this, or are we all losers?
Careful, Scott. You're in the lead. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
You guys want to move into the second half?
I'm ready. I'm ready to take
Let's do it.
Scott.
Sound cool?
Yes, let's go.
Sounds cool. All right. After his nuclear performance in the bubble, what are the chances Jamal Murray makes the leap to All-Star this year with such a stacked Western Conference? Because you can obviously hear that Zach wrote this question. I'm going to send it over to him first.
Yes.
24 seconds on the clock. Go right ahead.
Dude, he's one of my favorite players, okay? But I still think he has what it takes, okay? Bias aside, I know he's going up against so many cool players in the Western Conference. Ja, Dame Lillard. I mean, even Chris Paul, as old as he is, he's a great player. But he is an absolute masterpiece in his prime. And, dude, he is not done yet, guys. Last year was just the start. Let's see what he has to do, what he has for us, in store for us this season.
I don't think you even said
Did I at
anything
least beat
right
the
there.
shot clock?
No. No, you took like 30 seconds.
Did you not hear me?
What?
Oh my god, damn it.
No, you were
I
double
said, god
late,
damn
but
it. I
if you
fumbled
can-
through the end and I took 30 seconds.
In a word, you can say, like, what are the chances he leaps to All-Star this season? You wrote this question. How did you have such a wishy-washy answer? In a word, what does Jamal Murray have to do to become an All-Star? And I won't give you a violation if you can just give me a solid answer.
He has to score 40 points a game and put up the production that he did in the Utah Jazz series consistently.
Okay, I laughed, but solid answer. Excellent.
And he
You're
could.
still in the game. I'm trying
The
to
crazy
make
thing is that maybe he could, okay?
I'm trying to push the second half in your direction, pal.
I know. I really appreciate it, Jack. Thank you. I am Venmoing you right now.
It's nothing better than a crooked
That's
ref.
not a violation. We're going to put the ref's Venmo in the description.
My Venmo my Venmo handle in the comments. We'll accept donations to sway any game you like. All right, Scott. Jamal Murray, excellent in the bubble. What's he got to do to jump to the next level in this upcoming season? Go ahead.
In the words of Kanye West, I done talked a lot of shit, but I just did the numbers. Listen, there's nothing he can do to make the All-Star team, okay? It's a popularity contest. That's how Bradley Beal can score 30 points a game and not make it. In the West, you got Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Luka, LeBron, Chris Paul. Luka, LeBron, they're forwards, fine. He's going to be competing for that fourth spot against Ja Morant, D'Angelo Russell, De'Aaron Fox in that small market category, and he's just not going to get it, even if he scores 40 points a game and becomes your favorite bar trivia answer to the question who scored 40 points a game and didn't make the All-Star game.
Oh my god. I just feel so obliterated. I feel like a shell of a human right now. I feel
Holy
like a
shit.
glass that is half empty right now.
Wow. Damn, man.
Damn.
Yeah, that was locked and loaded.
Yeah. I have at least
And
like
a Kanye
11
quote.
bullets.
That was gorgeous. That was poetry, Scott.
Yeah, I feel shredded.
Thank you.
All right. Let's compose ourselves. Moving on. 40 points a game won't even get you to the All-Stars. It won't make you an All-Star. Scott says game is rigged. Truth is, the game is rigged from the start, baby.
Always has been.
Always has been. All right. So Scott, now with the commanding lead. We move on to the next question, and it's going to start with Scott. So, the NBA has relaxed its policy on marijuana use for the upcoming season. So whose performance will see the most change? What do you guys got?
The answer is we don't know, because the NBA legalizing marijuana, nothing's really going to change. They had 2 tests in the schedule, and as soon as you pass the second one, then they don't test you again, so everybody's high as shit during the playoffs. But really what's going to happen is the fan perspective is going to change, because we are going to be watching like hawks at the box score to see who has like a TJ Warren stretch of 2 weeks. And like, dude, if Ricky Rubio comes out with like 25 points a game, 12 assists, he might get a cover of High Times magazine and a cameo in a Seth Rogen movie. You never know.
Locked and loaded, baby. Zach, fire it up.
Dude,
Light it up.
it's obviously going to be Zion. It's so clearly going to be him. He needs the medical qualities, the medical properties of weed to help him back from his slight knee injury and to keep him going this season. And on top of that, he lives in New Orleans. You guys, he lives in New Orleans, the most fun place to party and do drugs. He's going to do all the drugs, and you know what? He's going to be better for it. He's going to be the face of the league, the pot-smoking face of the league.
All right. Scott, you got anything to say?
Rebuttal?
To that? Go ahead, please.
Oh, I got a rebuttal. Listen, I don't want to like weight shame anybody, but we all know it's been a big talking point that Zion's weight has been discussed over and over and over again. And for a guy who supposedly is concerned about losing his weight, munchies in New Orleans is a terrible, terrible recipe for getting to a point where you're losing weight. So I think Zion is just going to turn into an absolute unit, the size of Grimace in the Ronald McDonald movie, and is just going to terrorize the league. As the size of 2 Zions? I don't know. I lost the point halfway through.
Okay, Scott,
You
we
lost
all
the
know
point.
that beignets are the most delicious and like high in calorie snack that you can eat. But to your point, if he puts on a ton of weight and turns into the NBA's Grimace, who could stop him? Who is the largest player in the NBA right now, Scott? Do you know who it is? The heaviest player in the league right now, I think, is Boban
I think it's
or
Embiid.
Zion. Is it Embiid? Is it Embiid?
I think it might be Embiid.
Okay, it's one of those 3 players, and you know what? If he can just outweight one of them, he might have a NBA playoff performance like Big Baby Davis. We all remember that playoff performance, don't we?
Yeah, where he was sitting on the bench waving a towel.
Okay, there was like one game I think I remember where he had like, a decent amount of points, and we were all stoked about like the big guy
Big
who had
Baby.
a couple points. Yeah, come on, dude. He's in the big 3 league now, dude. He needs some support. He needs some good press, dude. Don't be shitting on Big Baby.
I'm sorry, Big Baby. Shout out to Big Baby Davis.
Shout out to
Shout
Big
out
Baby
Big
Davis.
All right. So I think with Zach, with the definitive answer, not the nobody answer, nothing will change answer,
Yes.
and for being very body positive about a Grimace size Zion, he loses a violation. So
Yes.
That's fair. I deserve a violation. I
excellent.
was body shaming. I apologize. I do feel bad
Sure.
about that one.
Supersize that violation, Jack. Please supersize that violation.
careful. All right. So other than legalizing pot, because the high court of the NBA deemed it legal, what other changes would you like to see this season? We've seen some schedule changes that we're going to talk about. We're no longer going to be in a bubble. So, Zach, we're going to start with you. We'll give you double the time and tell me something straight up that you'd like to see change this year. Maybe something a little more fun. Go ahead.
Okay, I think we all know what we want to see new in the NBA, and that's a 4-point line. So many players can hit it from so far deep, and a 4-point play would swing like literally every game. It would just be so fun, so electrifying to have in the game. We all want to see that. All the fans want to see that. I know that for sure. But I'm just gonna put this out there for funsies. Why don't we give every player one sideline beer of their choice per game? We're already giving them pot. Why not give them beer and make this the most lit sport in the freaking world? Also giving the players a little more chance to show off their personality. What beer do they like? Are they like, a homegrown bud drinking fool? Or do they like the craft beers, the dark beers, if you will? We'll see, It's going to be fun. People would love that, Jack. They would freaking love it. And you're a beer fan. I know you love that.
Answer. Honestly, Zach, just spin that into a pitch with some of the NBA's advertisers, and I think they'll be all for it. I mean, they're the movers and shakers of the league, if I'm not incorrect. So you start selling to Miller Coors, tell them that these players will proudly advertise their beer on the sideline. You'll be seeing a whole fully loaded bar in the 2022 season.
And that's what we all want to see.
Right,
I mean,
Scott,
J.R. Smith deserves a drink at halftime.
I think so. I mean, if Babe Ruth can be getting loaded in the seventh inning stretch and smoking 5 cigars, we know it's possible. So why not?
Why not, indeed,
Scott,
Jack?
Yeah.
Why not, indeed?
Scott, we're going to move over to you. Tell us what changes you'd like to see in these upcoming seasons. What's the future of the NBA look like to you?
I'm going to start with a fun one. I'm going to say something I've never said before. I'm taking a page from NCAA college football, except not the actual league, the video games. I want both teams to have the entire roster dressed as mascots, 5-on-5 for mascot fun. We're talking Masked Singer style shenanigans of unveiling who just got boomed and dunked on, okay? For a serious answer, I'd love for them to get rid of the rule that you can't trade back-to-back first-round picks in back-to-back years, because they put that in because back in the 80s, teams were really dumb like the Rockets, but now everybody's much smarter except for the Rockets, and I'd love to see them trade 20 years worth of draft picks for the future just for James Harden to trade his way out of there. It'd be hilarious.
It's not quite the scorched earth approach. It's kind of like a scorched birth approach that you're just absolutely tanking the future for what's standing in front of you right now.
Which is the Rockets' way.
And then
that's so genius, Scott. If I might
deregulate NBA draft rules. I'd like to see it open market.
I gotta add, ref. I gotta add. All right, just give me the inbound. I want to add here.
Go ahead.
Now, you might be thinking, that's not fair. Some teams have much easier and better mascots to play basketball. And to that, I say, fix your mascots, because half the league has really been slacking, okay? Whatever it is the Clippers have, that thing is a monstrosity, and it needs to be replaced with a humanoid mascot that can play ball.
Excellent.
Wow, there are some atrocities out there, and I was gonna call you out for that, Scott. Way to cover your bases.
I thought it through.
Yeah, I saw that. Damn.
All right. Excellent. All right. So, moving forward. So, the schedule for this upcoming season is out. Notably, it's incomplete. It's not a full season. Are there any, what potentials does this imply? What do you guys make of this new unfinished schedule that's allowing for a little more flexibility? Scott, we're going to start with you.
I think it's an excuse for the NBA to finally do what supposedly they've been trying to figure out, and that is shorten the length of the season. obviously load management's a big thing, and now you're dropping it to 72 games, and they might even push it more to 66 and maybe eliminate back-to-backs so fans don't have to deal with catching their team on a back-to-back and their star players sitting out to make their playoff chances better. So I think that's the biggest change that I think that's going to come from this.
Very cool. Zach, what do you think?
To me, the thing I'm most excited about is the midseason tournament. I think we've all been trying to the Players Association has been talking about that for a couple years now. And I personally have just been really excited to see what that might look like, because I think it would be even a little bit more interesting than some of the all-star games that we have. So a midseason thing like that with a lot of competition interjected into it to get NBA players kind of woken up and ready to go for the second half of the season, I think is really interesting, and I'm so excited to see how it turns out this year, because I know it's something that the players have wanted for a long time, and I'm excited that the NBA is finally listening to them.
Right on.
Yeah, but I agree with Scott too. I think it's so cool that potentially the season's going to get shorter, because I know that's another thing that the NBA Association, the Players Association, has been clamoring about. And I just think that it's really smart in this time where we're all trying to be health conscious and conscious of the players and the assets of the league. I think it's really smart to listen to those guys and just take what they're saying to heart and to implement changes now, because it is a great opportunity to do that. There's so much uncertainty in the world as a whole that, you can make changes to the NBA schedule. Everybody's making changes to their sports leagues right now. I think it's really cool of the NBA to kind of head that front. They've really been in the forefront of that in terms of all the leagues, and it's so cool to see.
I'd be very curious to see if maybe it's not the masked concession to the Players Association, because I love the idea of power to the players, power to the people, by way of who makes what kinds of decisions. I understand that might not be the only factor at play for this upcoming season, but it could be a cool test drive, and maybe the Players Association could say, "I told you so" at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that will signal some more cooperation, or just a shift of power in the future.
I agree with you, man.
I think you both bring up really good points. And I'm going to throw out there, the mid-season tournament is the most interesting. I say do away with the All-Star weekend and just switch it to guys, let's just live stream on Twitch James Harden stuck in a room quarantining, and let's have a lottery for who gets to trade for James Harden.
This
you could
so
probably
quickly.
Also just do, you could probably also just do do away with the All-Star game and just have a 2K tournament instead. And I think you'll probably amass the same numbers.
But
Dude, I love that idea, Jack. Thank you.
I've seen players playing 2K. It's not fun. They're even more dry and monotone. It's not as fun as you would hope. I think it would be more fun if they had to play in VR with really shitty controls, and they they're NBA players. They're probably gaming a lot, so we got to figure out a controller that will really baffle them.
Easy. Wii Sports Basketball.
There it is. Wii Sports Basketball. The winner gets to trade for Matt.
And gets to trade for Matt, the capital M Matt, hero of Wii Sports. I guess villain of Wii Sports.
And Tim Duncan is going to be that person, because he's going to come back and put the whole league on notice with his video gaming prowess.
If there's a lottery for getting to trade for James Harden, I'm still on this. If there's a lottery for getting to trade, who's the representative for each team? Because Chris Paul's not showing up, right? Westbrook's not showing up. PJ Tucker, after he gets traded, is not showing up. What if nobody shows up to represent the lottery? That'd be kind of sad.
Dude, and I don't know if you've heard, Scott, but KD ain't showing up either, bro. People have been really trying to get him to talk about James Harden the past couple weeks, and he literally just said, "I'm not thinking about James Harden at all."
That's such a lie. He's texting James Harden in the middle of that interview, I guarantee it.
You know he is too. Oh, KD.
He's like, "Hey James, you up?"
James.
Hey, James, you up? James, how was little babies? James, James, little
Yeah,
baby?
what's little baby like? I hear he's pretty cool. Do you think you could bring some of that glitter with you to Brooklyn?
Scene at 2:51 a.m. All right. Our 11th question and the last question of the regular time.
Mm-hmm.
What opening day game are you guys most excited for? And Zach, I'm going to start with you.
Good. Well, I got to say, I'm excited for Rockets Bulls the most because, one, I want to see Scott's favorite team lose. That's my favorite thing to do in the world, is to see the Bulls flounder. But also, I just want to see what's up with James Harden. We've been talking about it a lot. This show is practically the James Harden experience. I just want to see if he's even going to show up to that game. Let's be honest. Like, who knows what's going to happen with him this year? It's the biggest story.
Good time.
Yes. Made the time.
Scott, you going to take that?
No, the answer is the Brooklyn Nets versus the Golden State Warriors. Do you guys remember how awkward it was when Kevin Durant went back to OKC and got booed and wouldn't make eye contact with Russell Westbrook? It was some passive-aggressive shit. Now imagine him going back to play the Warriors, who have been fine. Like, the fans, they like Kevin Durant, but he's a mercenary. He's not their favorite. He's not credited with any of the wins. He's going to be on some passive-aggressive next-level shit with his third eye open because Kyrie's the king of that. It's going to be pretty fun to watch. And also, like, Kevin Durant hasn't played in a year, so, like, I really want him to come back.
Ooh.
Very solid. You did go over, so that brings our score to a tie, as it were. Zach, you got any rebuttal?
Yeah, I'll just say, like, excited to see KD come back, I guess. I mean, no, I am excited to see him come back. But I don't think that game itself is inherently going to be that exciting. Like he said, the Warriors fans are pretty passive as it pertains to KD. They don't really have any hot takes on him. They don't hate him. They just don't love him. And the Warriors are pretty, like, they're pretty whatever this year. I'm excited to see how they turn out. But now that Klay Thompson's out, I don't think they stand a chance. So, I mean, it's going to be a pretty lackluster game.
Rebuttal?
Go ahead.
The Warriors trade for James Harden.
You made that argument in the last fucking show, and it was such a good argument, Scott, and I love it. I love it, and I think that for some reason it might work.
I want you to picture something in your head, all right, Zach? Close your eyes. Picture James Harden, Warriors jersey, crossover on Kevin Durant, and you just see in slow motion 4K 1080p footage glitter, a trail of glitter as James Harden goes to the basket and Kevin Durant's left behind.
Kevin Durant shielding his eyes
This is all
with his
hypothetical.
raptor arms that are like so big, just like.
This is all hypothetical, but I'm desperate for a win, ref.
Please shut him down, Jack. Please shut him down.
Scott,
Fingers crossed.
we'll determine if you've won with the tiebreaker question.
Yes! Another tiebreaker.
So, as if you have watched any of these episodes or if you are new to this, I'll explain regardless that every episode, if the show ends in a tie with their value of violations, I have written a tiebreaker question of which neither of these two have seen to break up said tie, and will determine who will be able to force the other to say out loud a quotation of their choosing. So, gentlemen, are you ready?
I certainly am.
Yes.
First win ever.
All right. All right. In honor or in response to the recent Jake Paul and Nate Robinson fight, which NBA veteran would you send to fight Jake Paul to return the honor and glory back to the NBA? I'll give you guys a few seconds to think of your answers.
Okay, fantastic question, Jack. Thank you.
It's a lot of things to consider here. A lot of components to this kind of fight.
Truly.
Do you want someone with speed? Someone who you know has hurt somebody?
Did somebody hurt you, Jack?
No. Maybe some of the fans. I mean, that's what I was alluding to.
Oh.
The malice of the
all right.
palace.
So, yes. So, Zach, I'm going to start with you, bud. 24 seconds. Who are you sending to fight Jake Paul and save the NBA starting now?
Okay, so we already tried street fighting. That's how Nate Robinson lost. So I don't think we send anybody that was involved in the Malice of the Palace. In fact, I think we send Nate Robinson's foil, his mortal enemy, Dwight Howard, dressed up as Superman. And I think we go as far to send Nate Robinson with him, dressed up as Kryptonite, to tag team Jake Paul in a comic book themed fan service gangbang. Let's go!
Comic book gangbang is also our hashtag tonight, so Google that at your leisure. Scott, dare I say, over to you.
Zach, I'm going to need you to get an offensive rebound for me because I'm going to need a couple shot clock resets. Listen, I want you to picture me in front of a bunch of files, okay? Because I'm assembling a crew, the perfect crew to fight Jake Paul. I'm looking at files for Rasheed Wallace. I'm looking at Ron Artest. I'm looking at Matt Barnes. But Jake Paul, listen, he only fights guys smaller than him. He won't even fight in the same weight class, and he's been called out for it. So we need to get somebody who's in the same weight class as him. He won't fight above that, so that eliminates the guys I mentioned. So I'm thinking we nominate Stephen Marbury. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that's the guy who had that infamous video where he went live and started eating Vaseline. That's not why I'm picking him. I'm picking him because of a redemption story. He went to China, found his place doing what he loves, found a community of fans that love him, and he's coming back to the U.S. to fight Jake Paul. And who doesn't love a redemption story, okay, of a dedicated person who's going against the stigma of being crazy, because that Jake Paul, Nate Robinson title card fight was Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Incredible.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The audience stunned. The rebuttal silent.
I went way over, though, so...
There actually wasn't a timer for the tiebreaker question. It would feel arbitrary to give you guys violations right now.
Oh.
So,
Can I just throw out there that Mike Tyson, in response to all the trash that Nate Robinson has been collecting, has agreed to train him for the rematch, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is also interested in avenging him in the Logan Paul fight. So he's got a lot of people on his side for this Dwight Howard and Nate Robinson tag team gangbang, you guys. Okay? We got Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. in on this too. Bro, we're taking Jake Paul down.
Can I rebuttal by saying I like Zach's idea and I want to take it a step further, and Jake Paul starts in the ring and we do a 30-person WrestleMania, and just one after another retired NBA veteran comes flying into a Hell in a Cell and starts slamming people.
This is the best answer I've heard on this whole show.
He's going to get like Matt Barnes thrown off the top of the cell into the table, and then Snoop Dogg's going to get involved, and he's going to pile drive Meta World Peace into the ground. It's going to be wonderful. Hell, what's Zach Randolph up to? He's probably going to come out, and oh my God, is that Rasheed Wallace's music I hear?
What was Nate Robinson doing
show.
fighting that fight, Scott? That was a complete show all around. And I think the only person that didn't know it was a celebrity boxing match was Jake Paul.
Heat.
I mean, we could also like crowdfund a celebrity death match stop motion thing of our own. We could just have anybody fight him.
Crowdsource the death match, period. A real life death match.
I could ask my uncle for like a solid $50 to fund it.
Dude, I think my mom's in for at least 30.
All right. So I think almost unanimously, it's a tie. Unless there's another tiebreaker. Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing for the first time only, the second tiebreaker to be issued in one shot clock violation episode.
We're going to double, triple overtime.
We're going to double, triple overtime.
I'm on load management. I can't be doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, Scott's got a bedtime. This better be a quick question, Jack.
I'm going to give you guys a minute to think of it, in which I'm
Okay.
going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, nice. Swell.
Yes. I'm going to give you guys a minute to think of your answer for the following question.
Okay.
Assemble your all mascot starting 5 roster.
Ooh.
All right. I'll be back. Okay. Gentlemen, I hope you're ready for the second tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've
so,
had my time,
Scott, we're going to start with you. Please
Okay.
tell us your all mascot starting 5.
All right. Positionless basketball, baby. That's what we're doing right now. Benny the Bull running the point. We need a 2 next to him. And whatever that bear thing is the Jazz have, he's going at the number 2. Because Jazz is smooth, baby. It's smooth. He's got the handles. All right. And then at the big man, at the 5, we're just running that weird dragon thing the Orlando Magic have. It's terrifying. Stick it under the rim. Nobody's going anywhere near it. At the 4, I want to run the Coyote. That thing can move fast. It can space the floor, get around screens, get the open shot. And then at the 3, do a little 3 and D. We're going to go for the Toronto Raptors mascot, Drake.
Drake. Excellent.
That's it.
Excellent. Shit, yeah, that totally like ran over my head real quick. That's fucking heat.
That was a great one.
Nice.
Those might have been the only ones I could think of.
It was compelling. You didn't have to tell us that.
I did.
Zach, over to you, partner.
Well, for my answer, I'm going to steal what I thought was going to be Scott's answer, which I think the starting 5 should be all Benny the Bull. I think the 5 spot should go to Blow Up Benny the Bull, who's the massive, largest, arguably mascot in the game, the huge bull that just like floats throughout the entire stadium and could knock out any ball going anywhere near the basket. I think the 1 spot should be like, OG Benny Bull, the guy that is like that super cool dude that's like gone down in history as one of the coolest mascots of all time. And then I think the 3 spot should definitely be played as Michael Jordan playing Benny the Bull, who used to do halftime dunks. I don't know. Whoever does halftime dunks for the Bulls as Benny the Bull should definitely come through. And I'm sure we can pepper in at least 2 other Benny the Bulls. There's been so many. Honestly, we can get an army of Benny the Bulls to take out any other mascot in the region. He's got horns. He's got flair. He's Benny the Bull, baby. And he's the only mascot.
I'll point out that I believe there's another inflatable Benny the Bull.
There is. There's a smaller one.
There is. And then maybe you could toss a Lovable on there.
Yeah. You could also.
You guys have
also
been
the
to
Benny
more
the Bull
Bulls
that spills popcorn. He'd be a good at the 4 because he'd like somebody go to post up and they think they'd be leaning against somebody, but it's actually a bag of popcorn and they'd fall over.
See, this is why I thought this would be your answer, Scott. I thought you would have killed it with the all Benny the Bull lineup.
I have to give it to Zach, though, because I argued positionless basketball, 5 guys that are just flexible and can play 1 through 5, guard 1 through 5, and the only one who could truly do that is Benny the Bull.
Benny the Bull.
He's a man of
the greatest mascot.
He's a bull of many faces.
Yes.
Many talents.
I do want to shout out the Denver Nuggets mascot. There's a video I'll share with you guys after this of when they had him. They had this skit or this segment where they had him up in the ropes, up in the air, and they were lowering him down to the court. But due to the elevation in Denver, he passed out. So the weird mountain lion mascot they have is just laying there lifeless, being slowly lowered to the sounds of like Mama Number 5 or something like that. It's pretty great.
Holy shit!
That sounds
you absolutely have to send that link to us.
He's not making my starting 5 because he's gonna pass out, but like shout out.
My thoughts though, Scott, does Robin Lopez make your starting 5? He's easily knocked out every mascot in the league. You don't think that he could come through and put the hurt on an all mascot game?
You know, you got a point. I was going to say he's not a mascot, but he basically is Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons, and I'd argue that's a mascot. So, you know what? He's coming off the bench. Six man of the year.
All right, boys. And with no implicit bias at all, do I declare today's winner? One Zach Huber.
What's your Venmo?
Yes. It's too late, Scott. I already Venmo'd him. The drop hit, and I'm the winner for the first time. Yes.
For the first time. Congratulations, Zach.
Woohoo! And I have the best thing ever for you to say, Scott. Are you ready?
No, I feel like Nate Robinson.
Yeah. Knocked out cold on the floor, Scott. You're going to have to say these words, okay? Zach's cinema arts and science degree was totally worth it, Mom.
Okay, are you recording your, or did you call your mom and is the voicemail on so I can leave this
ready.
for her?
She's ready.
Okay. Zach's cinema art and science degree was totally worth it, Mom.
Incredible.
And there you
Zach
have it.
says a single tear.
Take that, Mom.
This is worse than the Raptors moving to Tampa.
Which my mom is also upset about. She really wanted them to come to KC. She loves basketball, and she was really upset because Patrick Mahomes was like, please come here. I'll give you money. And they were like, no.
They were like, what is American currency? They bought a Greyhound ticket and it took them to Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta just say, like, I mean, while we're talking about it, that's a weird move because they're trying to not go back to Toronto because of COVID. So they go to the land of COVID, Florida. Tampa Bay, the armpit of Florida, no less. Come on. Anyway, I obviously want to.
I mean, that's why.
Yeah. Are they temporarily relocating there? What's up with that?
Yeah, for the season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Funky.
Here's the thing, though. There is one win. There's a silver lining, and that is if, for all you listeners, if you haven't seen the Tampa Bay Raptors logo of a little dinosaur eating a palm tree, it's fantastic.
I haven't seen that either. I have to check it out. Oh my god, that sounds hilarious.
That sounds precious.
It's pretty great.
Nice. Well, I guess we're all going to go check out that new logo. And we're going to come back here in a week or two or what have you, because we're pretty flexible here. And we're going to check out the next episode of Shot Clock Violation. And we just want to thank you guys for checking out this week's episode. And hopefully we'll see you again next time on Shot Clock. Roll the John Cena theme music.
Shot clock violation.